Is Korea going to die out? Kyrgyzstan seems to think so. Let's see their reasoning.
Every 2 years, 1 million Japanese disappear.
Oh shit, that's a lot of people.
China's population will halve by the end of the century.
So China will be halved by the end of the century because of their one-child policy, I think, or whatever it is.
The median age in Italy has reached 48.
Well, that's crazy. Median age means that half of the people, like, that's pretty much, yeah. Damn it.
All around the
Holy
world,
crap.
birth rates are crashing. Is humanity dying out?
Well, yeah, I mean, the world is a crazy place. It's hard as hell to live here.
What's going on, and how bad is it?
Oh.
For hundreds of thousands of years, the human population barely grew at all, haunted by disease, famine, and war until the Industrial Revolution.
Well, yeah, then we started having tons of babies. Because babies could work. You could have slave labor with babies.
Exponential progress led to exponential growth, pushing our numbers to 6 billion in the year 1999.
Holy
and
shit.
8 billion just 24 years later.
Yes.
And our numbers will continue to rise for at least another 60 years.
Damn, we're at 8
But this
billion
growth
already?
obscures something. People kind of stopped having babies.
I mean, seriously, why would you put a baby into this kind of world right now? We're living in some weird freaking world right now. Why the heck would you put a baby in there?
Every couple needs to have 2 children on average. If the number is higher, it grows. If lower, it shrinks. If it's well below, it shrinks a lot and quickly. Like in South Korea.
Oh, okay.
Borders of pop culture. Its fertility rate led 0.8 children per woman in 2022, the lowest.
Oh
in
shit, 0.8? That's less than, okay, well that's the average, of course. That's an average.
the world.
Which means that some had 0, some had more, some had less.
This means 100 South Koreans of childbearing age today will have 40 kids.
Holy
Who
crap.
will have 16 kids, who then will have 6. If nothing changes, then within 100 years, there will be 94% fewer young people, and South Korea will see a population implosion. That is, if things...
See, the problem with that is workforce. Workforce and GDP. Gross domestic product will lower.
the same. We have yet to see if there's a bottom to fertility rates. Although looking at the bigger picture and absolute numbers, this population will not shrink that much. It simply returns to the level it once was. In 1950, there were 20 million South Koreans.
Oh, okay, that's
In
not that bad.
2023, there are 52 million, and by 2100, there will be 24 million again.
Oh, still a little bit more,
The issue
but,
is not
you know,
there will be
lower.
fewer South Koreans. The issue is the composition of the population.
Ah, okay.
In 1950, the median age was 18. In 2023, it's 45. In 2100, it will be 59.
Oof! Yeah, they're gonna be way older. Again, working population, which means GDP, your gross domestic product, is gonna lower. Again, you need more workers.
Country of seniors. And South Korea is far from alone. China may be seeing the steepest population reversal in history.
Oh, dear.
At this point. Rapid industrialization, urbanization, and rising incomes meant that the Chinese started to prefer smaller families.
Yes.
That, plus the introduction of the one-child policy, which aimed to slow population growth, means that China has had a low fertility rate for decades. With a fertility rate of 1.16 births per woman, within 4 generations, 100 young Chinese will turn into 20.
Oh wow, that's quite a bit. And they tend to live longer, so you're gonna have median age go way higher.
China's fertility rates are now one of the lowest in East Asia, lower than even Japan's.
Holy
In
shit.
comparison, Europe's depopulation is much slower, despite low fertility, since
Oh, okay.
unlike Asia, most states have had a steady flow of immigrants. The impact is
Yeah,
complex,
that's the
with a
thing.
chunk of
Immigrants tend to have, they're younger because they want new life. They want new opportunities. So of course.
Immigrants come from other low fertility rate areas.
Yep.
The number of immigrant women who do have a lot of children is not yet high enough to make a big dent, and fertility rates of immigrants tend to adjust to the native population within 2 to 3 generations.
Ah,
In
okay.
Eastern Europe,
That
the
makes
decline has
sense.
sped up even more because many young people have emigrated to stronger economies like Germany, whose median age is one of the highest in the world at 46.
Holy shit.
Latin America fell below replacement in 2015. In the US, immigration is the only thing keeping the population growing substantially. There are still
See ya, Republican fucks. We need the immigration, you little bastards.
places where fertility rates have not fallen below replacement yet. In much of the Middle East, North and Sub-Saharan Africa, fertility is still high, which creates the same concerns about overpopulation as when Asia grew very quickly in the 1930s.
Oh, shit.
but
Okay.
that turned out to be unfounded. But recently, the UN has reduced its forecast for Africa's population drastically. For Nigeria, estimates were lowered from 733 million to 546 million.
Oh, that's
by
more reasonable.
2100. Similar trends are being noted across the continent. As Africa develops, fertility rates are shrinking much faster than anticipated. It's becoming more likely that East Asia's...
Now I wonder why lower developed nations have higher fertility rates. It's because it's higher death rates too. So they're like, well, if one child is gonna die, we're gonna have 3, so we can at least have 2 left over. Which sounds really bad, but maybe that's what it is. I have no idea.
story will repeat itself. By the end of the century, most places in Africa may be below replacement too. So declining birth rates and aging populations have become a general trend all over the world.
Oh, okay.
Why is all of this a big deal? demographics, and poverty.
Yes,
For a
that
functioning
makes
society,
sense.
You need enough people in the prime of their lives. Young and middle-aged people do most of the work. In any economic system, working-age people create a society's wealth. In
Yes.
retirement, you stop contributing as much to the economy, but the majority of healthcare costs are generated by seniors. The way the world
That's the problem. The social safety net, which we need. It's not like we need to get rid of the social safety net. We need to keep it, but we also need a lot of workers to help, put money into that net.
worked in the past was that a lot of younger people took care of a few older people.
Exactly.
Imagine a society where most people are older than 60. The financial burden for the young will be immense, unsustainable,
Yeah.
even for the richest countries. Even in the best case, this will mean people having to work way longer, exploding healthcare costs and poverty, while states with shrinking incomes struggle to keep up with rising costs. Technology
Oh
might soften
God,
the blow,
that just seems very horrible. That just seems like a very bad thing.
but can't compensate entirely. We can see this happening already. 11 out of 31 provinces in China are running deficits for their pension funds.
Holy
They
crap,
got old.
that is really bad. Because the whole communist system of spreading wealth everywhere and all that kind of stuff. At least trying to have safety nets for everybody. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Before they got rich, and now they can't really catch up anymore. China's working age population is predicted to fall by 20%, or 200 million people
Oof.
by 2050.
Holy crap, that's a lot of people.
Today's entire working age population of the US.
Exactly, that's a lot of people.
Infrastructure collapse is an almost universal constant of population decline, because infrastructure works at scale and doesn't get cheaper to operate if it's used by fewer people.
Yeah, no, it
If
doesn't.
population declines, be it because of urbanization or the loss of industry and employment. Once people and their income disappear, the resources necessary to sustain infrastructure disappear too. You can see it in many depopulated towns and cities in East Germany that suffered sharp population decline after German reunification.
Not only East Germany. You look at Detroit. Fucking Detroit has the
Look at
thing.
Japan. You can tour the countryside to see dying towns. Wait, if there are fewer people, won't life get cheaper and better, and there'll be more resources to
No,
go around?
no, not really.
Well, no. Population decline doesn't lead to prosperity.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
people's
Absolutely
ideas and
doesn't.
work that create our prosperity, not the mere availability of resources. Another danger for aging societies is that elected governments could decide to mostly represent the interests and fears of their elderly populations. Potentially
That's the thing. It's what is it called? Yeah, it's just bad.
leading to short-term thinking and a preference for conserving wealth over innovation. That's not a society that can
It's the
handle
power of
issues
the
like
few
climate
over the
change,
many.
which need massive investment and fresh ideas, something the world is already having a hard time with. Many people think that having fewer humans on Earth is actually a good thing because our societies are too unsustainable. We're using up too many resources and because of climate change.
Well, I mean, that's true to a certain extent, but you can't clean up things that you've messed up if you have less people.
Is that even if you want fewer humans, this process is very likely too slow to have a
Yes,
positive impact on the
absolutely,
environment.
that
The
too.
world population is going to grow for at least 60 more years before
Holy
it
crap.
may shrink again. By then, we have to solve climate change. Likewise, any other upside to lower population might have will most likely not materialize themselves this century.
Nope,
So,
not in my
just like
lifetime.
Poor people. The easiest solution seems to be immigration, but the fertility
The easiest solution is aliens.
of immigrants adjusts
Just
to
playing.
local levels within 3 generations. So you need a constant influx of new
Yeah.
migrants, which is not
You do.
sustainable long term.
It definitely isn't.
Dropping everywhere.
Definitely
The
isn't.
only way would be to keep poor countries poor, so that the young and motivated migrate to developed countries. looking
That
for
is not good
opportunity
either.
And a better life.
It's definitely not good
The
either.
wrong thing to wish for. By the end of the century, Africa will have the highest number of young people in the world, and so African migrants might become the world's most sought-after immigrants, with elderly nations fighting hard for every person willing to make the move. Immigration can also
That is just imagine wars for migration, wars for immigrants, fighting wars in order to get more immigrants. That sounds totally topsy-turvy.
create societal or cultural tensions, which is a universal phenomenon in all cultures, especially when cultures with very different sets of values meet, often leading to a backlash that slows immigration down again. It's easy to be frustrated at this, but ignoring this will only divide societies, empower demagogues, and increase xenophobia.
Yeah, you don't want
Immigration
xenophobia
is
to grow.
largely beneficial for societies, even if this seems counterintuitive to many people. Especially countries like the US, an immigrant nation built on the idea of personal freedom and opportunity through hard work, will benefit the most.
Oh,
Countries like
absolutely.
this will have a clear advantage this century, especially if they can attract the world's brightest and most ambitious. Conclusion and our opinion. This topic is way too big, affects societies as they
Yeah, you can't just get it all done in one video, but they're doing a really good job of it.
versus literally all of humanity. So please take this part with a gigantic grain of salt.
Yes.
Obviously, we're looking at this from our Central European perspective. One way to look at falling birth rates is
It's
as a
just-
side
just
effect of
as
the world
fine.
being less bad than it was. Especially women are freer, more educated, and wealthier than in the past.
Absolutely, that's a good
Turns out
thing.
that if societies are better off, individuals often decide to have fewer kids. Interestingly, there's a gap between how many kids people want and how many they're having. The mean number of kids women in Europe want is around 2.3, much more than they're actually having.
Yeah.
While we gained a lot of freedom
Because
in the last century,
if you're smart, you're going to be like, can I actually afford 2 kids? And then you're like, nope, I can only afford 1. And that one just barely, especially with, rising inflation and all that. Yeah, that's what happens. You're just smarter.
continents and economic systems, that came at a cost. The tight-knit communities and family structures that were part of our nature, where kids could be brought up by a village. Today, young parents have to deal with different challenges and societal expectations.
The boogeyman!
We're kind of ground down between the wish and expectation to have a family and a career. Being
Yeah.
pressured to do both, but not compromise either. Men are sharing parental duties more equally than they used to, but are often still expected to be the provider. And it's sadly true that usually at least one parent's career is held back. In many developed countries, the gender pay gap is chiefly a pay gap between mothers and everyone else. But it's not just
okay.
outside
But I mean,
pressure.
it seems to make
Cultural
sense. Okay.
individualism probably plays a role too. We have only one life to explore, be free,
Absolutely.
travel, have fun, accomplish something, and try to be happy. So people commit to partners later in life and often decide.
I mean, yeah. I mean, why not? Why not just live your life? Holy crap! How is that ever a bad idea? Just live your life.
against big families or any at all. And that's fair. Nobody owes their country babies.
Absolutely not.
No country has
Not a baby
successfully
maker.
increased birth rates significantly, so as of now, we don't really know what works. But here are a few options to at least make the lives of parents much easier. Free and abundant access to childcare, financial benefits for parents,
That is really
more
good.
and cheaper housing. Parenthood has to stop being a career obstacle, and our culture needs to
If that's going to happen in capitalism, I highly doubt it.
become more positive towards families. And that's something we can all work on. The next time you sit next to a crying baby, don't be a jerk about it. Kids are hard. In the end, humanity will not die out because we're having fewer babies. The age and composition of our societies changes quickly, and
Yep.
we need to deal with that sooner rather
Absolutely.
than later. But in the end, of all the incredibly hard challenges we've faced before, why would this be the one we can't solve?
You solve it with alien babies. You make more alien babies. That's the solution to everything. Thank you so much for watching this with me. Of course, this is kurzgesagt. They make some very interesting videos all the time. I have been wanting to make a reaction to one of their videos for a very long time, and I finally got the chance to do it. So thank you as well for being here, supporting me, just being amazing people that you always are. Thank you for watching all the way through if you did. Let me know down below if you have any kind of feedback, anything. If you want to have the conversation of everything that I went through here, all the little nitpicking and everything, let me know. I'm all for it. I'm all for that. Thank you so much. This is the Mad Salvi. I will be seeing you next time in the next video, whichever one that may be in the future. Bye-bye.